Welcome to the Cavisson product demonstration. In this video, we are going to provide high-level insight into the concepts on Cavisson Alerts. Cavisson Alerts help you notified whenever performance impacts revenue or the operational efficiencies. It also helps you perform or associate diagnostic actions upon any identification of a performance issues. All of this is configured in form of something we term as alert policies. What are notifications? Notifications are basically means to communicate a user upon identification of any event that could be impacting your performance. They could be emails, text messages, service tickets, or SNMP traps. Cavisson alerts can be associated with diagnostic actions. So whenever an alert is triggered, you can automatically perform an action that helps you to diagnose of a performance issue. Net diagnostics offer you multiple diagnostic actions. You can take heap dump or a thread dump. You can do a CPU profiling or take a TCP dump. It also provides you ability for remediation. For example, you can execute a script on a problematic node. There are two types of alerts: capacity and behavior. Capacity alert is based on a static threshold. So whenever that threshold is breached, the alert will be triggered. Whereas a behavior alert is based on a baseline, which could be dynamic in nature. What is a baseline? Baseline is a reference point that you want your current parameters to be compared with. Cavisson Net Diagnostics offers you various types of baseline. No trend. No trend is basically an average of previous time period. So for example, you want to have a baseline for last 30 days. So it will be an average of last 30 days. Daily trend baseline. A daily trend provides you an hourly average of the day that you want to set your baseline. Whereas a weekly trend provides you an hourly average of the last 7 days of a week that you want to set your baseline with. A gold baseline is a specific day that you want to compare with. It could be an event day. For example, you want to compare today's Black Friday sales with the previous year's Black Friday sales, so that becomes your gold baseline. Load index-based baseline. This is a highly advanced type of baseline that is very, very unique to Cavisson Net Diagnostic Alerts. In load index space, we create a baseline which is correlated with the load. It doesn't matter which particular day or hour of the day you are trying to set your baseline with. What it focuses on is the load. So for example, CPU is directly proportional to the load. So you can say that if the PVS is 10, then the CPU is 10. If PVS goes 20, the CPU goes 20%, and so on. So you can associate your baseline based on load. It will only look into a correlation between the CPU with the load and will not differentiate or take any other parameters into account like a day or an hour of that particular day. It will only correlate the matrices with the load. Baseline is also the first thing that you may want to set whenever you are trying to create or set up behavior alerts. Once you have set the baseline, the next thing you want to do is set up rules for the alerts. What rules does is it allows you to define threshold. So you have various types of thresholds like moving average, fixed window average, moving all, or moving advance. It also allows you to capture or set or specify the matrices group on which you want to apply an alert. So from matrices group, you can select whether you want to have alerts specified or applied on CPU or memory or response time and so on. Within the rules, you also select the type of alerts that you want to set. So both the alerts like capacity or behavior alerts, you can set them up from a single window where you define the rules. So you can either set one of these or you can set both of these alert types like capacity and behavior alerts from this alert rule configuration window. The rules also let you define the conditions. So for example, within the capacity alerts, you can have conditions like greater than or equal to, no data available, not equal, absolute increase, and so on. And similarly, on the behavior alert side, you can set conditions like percentage increase from baseline, decrease from baseline, absolute decrease or increase, and so on. Another thing that you can set within the rules for the alert is the severity. The severity could be minor, major, or critical for both of these types of alerts. So for example, if you're setting up a capacity alert for say CPU, high CPU response time or CPU response time, then you can set that if CPU is greater than or equal to 10, then it's a minor alert. If it's greater than or equal to 20, it's major, and if it goes greater than or beyond 50%, then it's a critical alert. Once you have set the rules, you go on to make alert setting to ensure that the notifications are going to the right people. In notification settings, what you can do is you can set the email ID, provide SMTP, and other configuration details to set your email and text messages. Alert setting also allows you to enable the diagnostics components. So for example, you can associate actions where you want to have thread dump or any other action, so you enable that with the action. You can also exclude bad times from the baseline within the alert setting. Now this is extremely important in an event when you have a downtime or a scheduled downtime. To exclude a bad time will help you to define that time window for which no baseline would be created and no test results would be captured. So once you have done the alert setting, you are all set to set your alerts. The last thing in this video that I want to provide insight into is alert history. Alerts history provides you insight or a list of all the alerts that have been captured previously. So it's a list of all previously generated or triggered alerts. The alert history gives you insight into the severity, the type of alert it is, whether it's capacity or behavior, the status, the time, the value, the threshold, and the message associated with an alert. So this brings us to the end of this particular session on providing high-level understanding of concepts around Cavisson Alerts. Please watch our other videos to get insight into how to set up alerts into your environment. Thanks for watching the video. Contact us to learn more.